Tell me again why I'm out here in the Mire with you, and why Sebastian didn't get on?
Seb is an interesting companion with a certain alluring charm. Nevertheless, you are more observant towards scientific matters and a tad bit more educated.
You really think this red shield is the radar installed is really the improvement on radar?
I've already made and tested out a batch on myself with no ill effects. It also doesn't suppress our newfound mutations either.
About these newfound mutations, as you put it, you sure I'm not going to turn into some super mutant?
You can now jump higher than most professional elites and can follow entire stories without breaking a bone. Small price to pay if your skin happens to turn green. It should provide greater radiation protection than anything short of a blast zone. But we need more of it. As I said before, heading south to see how far the Strangler bloom goes.
Well, we haven't seen any more in the last hour of walking, and I can just about make out all the gallery from here.
I'm afraid you were correct. That means amounts of red shield will be, unfortunately, limited by the rarity of Strangler bloom.
What the hell is that? Take cover. It's a Mr. Gatsy.
Relax. It's not hostile. But what is it doing all the way out here? There are robots over at the Galleria, but we're still a good 500 yards or so from there.
You there! Civilian! Identify! Initial readings indicate non-hostile.
That's a bit rude, but nevertheless, I am Dr. Maxwell Marconi, formerly of Vault Tech University and resident of Vault 76.
I have wounded to protect, and re-establishing communications with Duncan McCann is vital.
Duncan McCann is a name I recognize, but there was a whole generation that grew up out here between the Brotherhood of Steel and the Free States.
Member of the Free States and protector of Harper's Ferry, I hereby conscript you into service.
The Free States. Well, that answers that question. This Duncan person is probably long dead, and so are those you protected. Rest in peace.
Almost certainly. But we still have big gaps in our knowledge about what happened out here. After the bombs fell, this could afford us the chance to learn more.
We've been trudging through the swamp all day, and now you want to go on a wild goose chase?
You're the one who likes to brag that you spend a month out here alone. Where's that adventurous spirit of yours?
It wasn't quite a month. I never said a whole month, and a good chunk of it was spent in related safety with what we now call the purveyor.
Must I really resort to addressing you as a fool with a severe lack of personal fortitude?
How far do you think this little adventure will take us? The Free States was mostly headquartered around Harper's Ferry.
That's the spirit of Erick Cullen, grand adventurer of the wasteland. How about we give it 2 days or so? If we haven't found anything meaningful, we'll hike down to my camp to go back to business as usual.
We have supplies for at least a week, and the mire have been pretty plentiful. Okay, 2 days, but if some future survivor finds our skeleton, they'll also find a note on me blaming you for everything.
That's a deal. Let's start by asking our new friend some questions about our mission. I'm not sure why we needed to take an hour to bury 2 people who have been long dead well before we arrived.
They had names, Courtney Kelly and Jack Allen Murphy. I'm not much for final words, but ashes to ashes, dust to dust, so they returned to where they came. Probably been dead 20 years at this point. Thankfully that Mr. Gatsy told us their names.
An expedition from the Free States from Harper's Ferry led by a so-called Duncan McCann, and these 2 members perished in a firefight, with their Mr. Gertie named Hardball watching over them when they were injured.
But Ozzy had no medical programming, but at least you were able to take him off his guard routine. His duty finally gets to come in. I'd have volunteered to take in her 2 cats, but they are probably long dead at this point.
Hardball says we need a Sentinel booster. Can definitely find it in Harper's Ferry, but there be parts for one at the old electronics store in the gallery.
We're already here. Another 500 yards or so. A few Scorch and robots, but nothing we can't handle if we take it carefully.
Agreed. I'll take point. You shoot anything that close. I put some recent upgrades into my laser rifle for increased range. I'd probably pick off 1 or 2 before they get west of our prison.
Quite a trick from the camp. I guess a couple of weeks tending to the sick and injured wouldn't make anybody want to get away.
Honestly, I appreciated the experience, and I didn't lose a single patient. Over 24 fellow vault dwellers. Even the worst case didn't perish. A perfect score for the doctor.
except for poor Larry, but nobody could see that coming. Ace didn't seem pleased with you when you ruled it an accidental overdose.
Them's the breaks. She'll get over it. Their sense of moral urgency can be. Wait. Get in position. I don't see any robots. Or Scorch. Wait. A minute. I see them. 3 or 4 Scorch between us and the front entrance.
You drove them out. I'll fire on any that get close enough. Some of them may have guns. We can take cover behind a car, but these things have a habit of exploding when fired upon.
Get ready. Going to go target that one carrying a pistol first. This to take out the ones with firearms first.
You dead. Look, find, kill.
Oh, cheese and crackers. Their buddies are coming, Dinkley. My gun jammed. We still got one more.
Correction, we had one more.
Okay, my pistol is reloaded. See any others around?
I have no doubt there are more, but it's best we don't dwell and head inside the gallery. Keep an eye out for the Scorched inside. We're not out of danger yet.
I did stay in here several times over the last few months. Almost thought of checking to see if it was rent controlled or not.
I'll be honest. I did the same. Well, I was down here investigating the Free State. Gave myself an extra day just to rest and recover.
I think at least 6 or 7 of us did, just missing each other by a day or so.
A pity we didn't meet up here. It's still a fairly intact structure. Moderate protection from the elements. Unless we got a hurricane or a tornado. Or a really nasty red storm.
I mean, in an indoor neighborhood, kind of like the vault. Probably enough room for everybody to have a room or some kind of space to themselves. Could pipe in some water, some toilets. This place could be livable.
One of your better qualities. The ability to see the future instead of weeping for the past. An unfortunate curse that many of our number possesses.
I mean, I miss my folks, distant parents with plenty of good memories, unlike the shit shows I have heard about from Bruno, or Billy. But we're here in the now. We can rebuild. Civilizations fall, but new ones arise. Don't think we need a country, but a small town or two, the basics.
So you don't share the pessimism of Ace and her friends. How a new war is right around the corner unless we force everybody into conforming to her way of thinking?
Hey now, I think that's a bit unfair of you. Should be fair and just lead her. I know she could be a real stick in the mud, but she mean well.
I don't think I have to remind you what road good intentions often pave. I don't doubt her leadership abilities, but she thinks order solves the problem when it creates 100 more.
You're not wrong, but who is going to enforce the sets and contracts of the great capitalist Maxwell and Erick?
I assure you in due time I won't require any assistance in that department. I will establish order through necessity and fair exchange, not deciding who to find for later.
I'm not sure Maxwell's law will always be right for everybody.
I'm not sure how generating magnetic fields from chaining electric fields has anything to do with it, but seriously, I won't allow people to die from lack of basic food, water, or medical care.
Some might accuse you of being a secret socialist with talk like that.
Nothing socialist about it. It's just good business sense to provide the best workforce, both skilled and unskilled, to create the best economy.
Although I have little doubt your mind is already working on a plan to eliminate the need for human labor, and then there is no need to take care of the human workforce.
You have a finer intelligence than we gave you credit for down in the vault. But anybody who watched your improvement on the chessboard already knew that.
And you're not gonna respond to that. My rating went from Class G to candidate for Master in 25 years, but compliments aren't going to derail this discussion.
One more tournament and I think it would have enough to declare you a Master. But perhaps, if that was my goal, it's not something I could achieve for decades. Perhaps my own, natural, lifetime.
I'm surprised you haven't come up with a way to turn yourself into one of your horrid raw brains. You're gay as I would have thought Vault Tech would have done that before you even went down into the vault.
I doubt we'll find a facility here in West Virginia that could completely remove my brain and implant it into an artificial structure.
Well, I don't have your degree in neurology. I think it would require more than an ice cream scope.
You were correct in that I wasn't privy to the specifics. I simply knew the technology existed, and there had been experiments run.
It sounds even more evil than the forced evolutionary virus that created the super mutants of Frankenstein replicated over and over again.
Enough of time, enough of guineas, and enough of experiments, and anything is possible. What we called super mutants now may be the inheritors of this new world one day as Erick-like forebears gave birth to us.
But at what cost? And those experiments could have just as well have been a dead end with nothing shown.
The world didn't end with the bombs. A new world appeared, and those experiments are a part of it. We gave birth to our creation, one way or another.
So you mean one day, hopefully far in the future, a robot with the brain of Maxwell and Erick will be building new life headed by a couple of talkative super mutants?
There'll be room for other robo-brains, I hope. Discovery has to be celebrated by somebody. I learned the necessity for companionship during those 25 years.
And here we have it, folks. The Tin Man has found himself a hurt.
And now the Tin Man and the Scarecrow have found the electronics stored. Let's hope there's still parts left for that beacon.
So what exactly are we looking for in here?
A conventional signal booster, often sold to boost radio and television signals. Carried in almost every decent electronics store.
And after that, how are we going to use it?
If the landing pad at Camp Venture still works, I think I could summon a cargo bot and attach the booster. It flies overhead and we can hunt in on a distress signal. Assuming it's still transmitting on low power mine.
I think I found something. Yes, the package says cell booster. Is this the right one?
I would have preferred a more powerful model, but beggars can't be choosers. Nevertheless, I think we've got what we came for. Let's get out of here.
Die!
We got the company. Luckily, I already wrote my note.